I'm not an economist, and my knowledge on cryptocurrencies and alternatives thereof are largely limited to what is generally or publicly available. And the increase and decrease and the market swings are not the things that I actually was thinking about when I started my train of thought today on the issue of the specifically cryptocurrency. I remember for a while the news was inundated with information about how over or close to 50% of all cryptocurrency, and specifically Bitcoin, was utilized for illicit transactions. And this is, we're talking about 2014, 15, 16, and so forth and so on. We get less of that because the usage of cryptocurrency has definitely increased. I think Forbes is saying now something along the lines of 2% is being used for illegal transactions. But what I was thinking about is who was using certainly and who's investing into the cryptocurrency. And probably the millennials are the ones who are the firm believers in the investment in such currency for a number of different reasons. Now, what troubles me to a certain degree is that if half of the cryptocurrency, when it was very cheap, a couple of $100 or even less than that per coin, specifically Bitcoin, was utilized for some of the most horrific things one can imagine: human trafficking, child pornography, and other horrific assassinations, and so forth. Today, due to the increase of the value, there are significantly richer, really horrible people out there. They have, for all intents and purposes, have quadrupled and increased their worth by thousands of percent. And the reason that I'm contemplating about why is that problematic that the child pornographers and pedophiliacs and I don't know, human traffickers are getting wealthy is because the very same group of people who is so heavily investing in as a spike towards the mainstream stock market, if you will, or the state, and is exercising their libertarian rights towards freedom and self-determination, is actually without considering what that effect has on like any groups of people, is willing to say, okay, well, we're going to eliminate support for this company or that company because they engage in inhumane practices towards animals, which means we're no longer going to be buying their product. We're also not going to support this other company because they engage in some other unfair labor practices, which means we're going to block them or no longer do business with them. Yet, the realization that you are engaging in the unregulated currency that allows trafficking of humans does not seem to bother people because that responsibility is not theirs. Selective morality is probably one of the more problematic issues that one can have when dealing with such concepts. And I understand that the cryptocurrency is not in it of itself responsible for how people are using it, but for all intents and purposes, isn't those who are validating the alternative models are advocating for a better life and better future and maybe morally more correct behavior? And doesn't seem like that's taking place. What is taking place is because there are more people using Bitcoin, for example, and it's now can say, well, see, the use of Bitcoin in criminal activities has decreased exponentially. But because it is very difficult to regulate, I guess criminals and scum of the earth still prefer it more than any other way. I don't know about you, but I think that's problematic.